So my work today is Image Therapist International. It's a company I built under a different name about 15, 17 years ago. And today it is an international company. I go over the world and I teach people how to look the best with who they are. Not to completely change themselves and twist themselves into a pretzel and become a different person, but to look the best with what nature and God has given them, which is something that none of us have ever really learned how to do. Or how many of you have had mothers who've said, you know, you are just so perfect and so beautiful, and you are just an amazing human being, and you don't need to change. Just grow up and be yourself. How many of us have had that? I didn't have that. No? You're lucky. Oh. If you had that, then you are very lucky. So most of us haven't, and I realized that, and it became the basis of this work. And this work started in about 1980, when I was the simultaneous translator for the city of Hamburg, and I got the great honor and the opportunity to be an escort to ladies from all kinds of different countries that were coming into town and who didn't speak German. And I got to be their translator and their hostess and take them around and take them shopping. And they were willing to spend a lot of money on clothes. It was very easy for them. They didn't have to go out and find things that were moderately priced, so they had a lot of money, and they were willing to give $6,000 for a Chanel suit, but the thing still didn't look good on them. And I just couldn't believe how someone could plunk down that much money for something that wasn't proportioned right, didn't look good on them, the skirt was the wrong, the jacket was, the sleeves were too long, everything was in the wrong place. And so I realized that I wanted to go out and I wanted to teach women how to look great, because seeing that and the result of that and the way that they were treated was from a lack of their own knowledge about their own bodies. This doesn't look good on me because it's not proportioned right, or this doesn't look good on me because it's not the color. This and this and this works, this and this doesn't work. So what I set out to do was I became a couture designer. And in Europe, in order to become a couture designer, you have to have an education as a seamstress. So I became a pattern maker and a seamstress. I ended my studies in Europe. I came over here with my daughter, who was at the time 7, who is today 27, and is going to have a baby in October, so I'm going to be a grandma. And I'm so excited. Yes, thank you. And she and I came over here to this country, and it was an amazing opportunity. I went back to school in order to get the lay of the land, but I started my own business, and I started making clothes for the people around me, with this concept in mind, to know that, you know, you have your own proportions, not realizing at the time that it's more than just your physical body. You know, it's not just your body and your coloring. We all know that we're all different. And I started my own studio and had this amazing opportunity of being in the Persian community. I come from a Persian background, and they need like 250 outfits every year. They go to 4 different weddings each weekend, and they have a lot of gatherings. I have 95 first cousins.
Oh my.
96, sorry. And they're, you know, so we have a lot of weddings and things going on, and there's like 700 to 1,000 people. So I'm running the studio, and it's, God bless, very successful. And I have this mother that comes in with a couple of twins. And she says, I want you to make the same clothes for these 2 girls. And I said, why? Now, 20-year-old twins.
20?
Because they're going to a wedding, and I want them both to find husbands, and I want them to get married, and they're in the wedding party, and and I said, I'm sorry, ma'am, but I cannot do that. And she was very upset, and she felt very offended. Persians get offended very easily. And she says, how dare you not accept this? You know, I was turning away $5,000 worth of work. And I couldn't really give her a reason. I said, you know, your girls are just different. She says, what do you mean they're different? They look exactly the same. And I said, well, but they're not. And in that moment, seeing those 2 girls, I realized, you know what? It's more than just the way you look. Because I'm telling this woman something that I'm intuiting, but I have nothing to back it up with. I can't say, well, it's because of this. And I can't say, I was intuiting something, and I said, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So This was what I saw, these two girls. One of them was, yeah, and I love this, and I want a big train, and I want blah, 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 and I want it low cut, and I want my boobs to come out. And the other one was, well, actually, would rather have a white jacket over my shoulders because I don't like to expose myself. And the thing is I don't want my slit too high. Don't make it too high. So I had these two people that looked exactly, did you just see two different people? Did you just see that? Okay, I had two girls there that were like this. They both looked exactly the same. So what was it that was different?
Personality.
Personality, what else? Attitude.
The perception of themselves.
Persona.
Perception of themselves, what else?
Demeanor.
Demeanor.
How they wanted to be viewed.
How they wanted to be viewed.
Their packaging.
They
package
but there was
themselves
something
differently.
distinctly different.
Their voice.
Their voice!
How was that done?
And what else? Well, I want my dress to have this really long train, and I want it to be frilly, and I want it to be low cut, and I want it to be this, and the other one was...
There's a mirror.
Actually,
She was looking down, her eyes.
Yeah, but her body language
She's very close.
was closed off and was very, it was contained.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here are these two girls, and suddenly this light bulb went off in my head, and I said, oh my God, it's not just the way you look, and it's not just the way you know, it's not just your personality either. It's your voice and the way you walk as part of it, the way you carry yourself, the way you move, how much room you take up. You know, if I give an Italian woman who's constantly going like this, you know, if I give her this big kimono with long sleeves that are, what do you think is going to happen to those sleeves? They're going to end up in the coffee table over on the other side. They're going to end up in the dip over here, and you know what? It's going to be a hell of a mess.
Yeah.
The reason why Japanese women can wear these things is because this is all they do. They never move. They go. This is like their movement is so contained that when they're wearing something like that, it is totally gorgeous because all they do is, you know, they don't do anything. I mean, I'm sure that when they go to the bathroom, they take the thing off because they're so contained. So that's what I saw. And I went, oh dear God, okay, now we have to figure out how we're going to apply this, because if every woman knows that she has an essential formula, and that's where the essential formula that I base my work on